Alright, the goal for this session is to tear up much more of the wall. See if we can get some plumbing exposed in the framing. The general strategy is to cut out the grout, then underneath it cut the drywall so that you can, in theory, start yanking on the board, which will rip it off the hanger screws, and then you can just pull down the whole thing as an assembly, tile and drywall.
Okay.
As you'll see, that doesn't often work out that way, and
Look at you.
yeah, I'll just let you see it.
Okay, so the procedure if we hit a pipe, the idea is to try and get as much pressure drop as we can using the existing fixtures that we have while I run downstairs and turn off the water.
So like turning on the sink.
Turn on all the sinks, flush any toilet that you can reach easily, get to another sink, get it on, get the bathtub on in the other room.
Alright. Basically giving the water lots of other places to go besides the leak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to take as much pressure out of the shower as we can. As I'm cutting, especially as I'm cutting the grout, 100% we have to vacuum the entire time right there because there's going to be a lot of dust.
Yes.
Hearing protection mandatory. Mask required. Eye protection.
A riveting safety briefing, one for the ages. So we're starting with the multi-tool using a diamond tip blade. It's meant for cutting grout. Make particular note of which grout lines I'm cutting, because when we first revealed the wall, I could have sworn we didn't cut the studs and the underlayment beneath, and after reviewing the video footage, it's pretty obvious that we didn't. So that means a previous individual, a previous contractor came in here and cut some tile out, maybe, and retiled the shower? I don't really know. It's kind of interesting though, the house is only 15 years old. Yeah, so this approach was doomed to fail from the start. Trying to use the safety cut blade, which is only going to extend maybe 3/4 of an inch and has no cutting edges on it, so it won't destroy anything behind it, but obviously the tile is too deep to get through 1/2 inch of tile and thin set and then 1/2 inch of drywall. This isn't really the right tool for the job either. Once you get the chisel in, you need to be able to pry, and it's a little too thick for that. So here the grout is cut, so now we're just using a normal bimetal blade to try and cut the drywall underneath. That's the second or third time now Billy's accidentally turned the water back on with her tool belt. And she's pretty sick of it. So we're going to stop right now and take the shower hardware off. And this is a prime example of what happens when you are deep into a project and little curveballs get thrown your way. So here the set screw for the handle is stripped out. And if you want to know who stripped it out, it was me.
Take it down.
But interestingly enough, we replaced this about a year ago, and the previous one was stripped out as well. So I don't know if it's just a moment thing and they just give you these soft little
Looks like hex.
shallow hex head set screws. But the only way I've been able to deal with that is just to drill out the entire handle, destroying it in the process.
Yeah, I think it's my turn.
As you'll see in a second.
Yeah, it's not getting any purchase at all.
But first, a quick cleanup intermission.
Rob.
What? I didn't do it.
This is stripping.
Yeah, that's pretty stripped out.
Is it really?
It looks almost circular at this point.
That's the thing, I didn't really put any torque on it. I think I had to drill it out the last time too.
Yeah, we did. I get a hammer?
No, because if we break the mixing valve, we're gonna have a problem.
Bruh, is joke.
Not really. Go get the drill.
Thus commences 5 minutes of drilling out a shower handle with a step bit, sped up for your sanity. It's not the tool's fault, dumbass. The battery's dead. And now it's time for the nuclear option on the grout and drywall behind it. The circular saw with a masonry cutoff blade. No, we did have the blade height set to 3/4 inches, so again, there's no chance of it going behind the drywall and cutting anything else. This method is super effective, but kicks up ridiculous amounts of dust. Remember, concrete dust has tiny silica particles that can damage your lungs, so you always should wear a respirator when doing this type of stuff. All said and done, this ended up being the most effective way to get the tile off. Just simply cut the grout line, get an ordinary pry bar in there, and just peel off the tiles. Lending further evidence to the idea that this may have already been renovated before, as there are 3 different types of screws holding that green board to the studs. There's Phillips up there in the top, then it starts transitioning to Robbie's, and then the lower 2/3 is all star bits. Generally, contractors don't run out of screws, switch to another one, because if you do this with any regularity, and this is a track-built development house, you know, just built in a neighborhood of 100-something houses, basically identical with some rearrangements so they look different. Anyways, you're going to have buckets full of thousands of screws. You're just not going to switch and then drive in 3 different screws on one tiny little wall. It's just not normal. So, again, there's probably more than one time period for this wall. Which you can kind of see also because when we pull off that piece of drywall there on the top, that's right where the boards are split. You can't quite see it because I'm blocking the camera. But here I hammered that pry bar all the way down into the wall. Ended up getting it stuck on the rubber handle. I'm used to the walls that don't have the rubber handle on it. Yeah, so that took about 2 minutes to get the pry bar back out. But the idea is you hammer the pry bar in up against the stud, in between the stud and the drywall. And just a simple act of hammering it slowly peels the drywall off the screws so that you don't even have to yank on it. So cutting out the silicone in between the tiles and the corners with the diamond blade is not the greatest idea because you just get sticky goo all over the blade. And the way these diamond bits work, they don't really truly wear down so much as they just get gunk in between the diamond particles and then become non-abrasive. Over time, obviously, the diamond particles get pulled off. You know, the adhesive holding them on fails. But oftentimes you can bring the blades back to a pretty useful life by just using a dressing stone to clean the gunk back out.
Three different types of screws. What is that? Is that a star or a Robbie?
This one looks like a star. Yeah, these are stars.
Okay, grab me a star. Oh, we don't have a star. Never mind.
One of the ones that came with the screws downstairs.
No. I'm just gonna cut these
You ready to cut a bitch?
blade is very dull.
This is a prime example of my ADHD in play. So I'm supposed to be waiting for Billy to grab a star bit from downstairs. Instead, I'm fidgeting, trying to pry off a piece of green board that's got 2 screws right there, which is just silly. And no, adding a 42-inch pry bar to the situation doesn't help at all, as you'll see. This is what happens when I'm left unsupervised. Generally, prying screws out with a hammer is a bad idea. Some of the screws just had thin sets stuck in the head, and I wasn't really in the mood to deal with it properly, so I just ripped them out. But that does rip out a chunk of wood at the same time.
So there's notches cut in the studs.
I think this one's crazy. My assertion that they did a remodel.
I think I f***ed up.
No, you would have cut right here, huh?
Really? Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, because they matched, this is lined up, right?
I think both of us would have noticed if that was out of whack with the rest.
Give me a tape measure.
I know. I'm already getting it.
So I'm measuring the grout lines with a remote possibility that maybe they were just angled and we didn't notice or something else. But I'm sure you've already seen how obviously we didn't do that.
That matches with this cut in the lining, which was above the cut you made. We didn't see this. I don't think that was you.
All right.
Lost a rubby bit. That about wraps it up for this video. We ended up having way too much trash. The trash can was so heavy, and I didn't realize that the garbage truck does not have one of those automatic lifts that reaches out to the side. The recycling truck does, so the guy never has to come out and grab the can. But the garbage can, that garbage truck, did not. So the poor guy went to grab the garbage can, tipped over. He couldn't get it back up, so I had to run outside and help him stand the can back up. So we're going to get a trailer hitch put on our vehicle because we've kind of reached that point. Next video, we hope to finish the demo because we really need to get the plumbing exposed and the electrical so I can know for sure what I'm going to have to remediate and how much attic work I've got. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.